One of the side projects I've been working on while my printer was busy printing parts for the various lab docs I made was creating a Cyberpunk-inspired handheld gaming console. And the origin of that is relatively simple. I basically found out that programmable LED matrices exist, and when I first saw this, I instantly thought, you could play Tetris on this. Then I did some research and I found out that I've already got like 90% of the components I would need for something like this. Basically all you need is an Arduino Nano, which is a microcontroller that costs like $4, some buttons, some wires, a LiPo battery and a charger for the battery, and a 3D printer. And yeah, I have all of these, so what the heck, let's do it. This right here is the prototype I came up with. I'll have to do a quick disclaimer because I used a large language model to help me put Tetris onto this Arduino Nano. And I just want to say I'm very well aware of all the negative aspects of AI, and I'm definitely not a fan of how it's being pushed and used mostly right now. Large language models are much more limited than they're made out to be. It just so happens that putting Tetris onto a microcontroller is within these limits and outside my current programming skills. That's why I decided to use one for this project, but please don't think I endorse AI in general. I don't. But yeah, it actually works really well, you know. I have 4 buttons. I have one with which the pieces move to the left, one with which the pieces move to the right, one with which you can spin the pieces, and one with which you can drop them down instantly. If we get a game over, we actually get this nice little game over screen. And I even programmed one more game into this, or the large language model did, just to show that there are more things than Tetris that could theoretically be played on a DIY handheld like this. There we go. You're the point at the bottom and you just have to avoid the particles falling down at you. And yeah, I think that's actually quite fun as well. I'm really happy with how that turned out. So yeah, let's talk about design, arguably the most important part. I want this handheld to be as small and pocketable as it can possibly be, while also still making it comfortable to play on it. And I think the way to achieve that is to make it playable in one hand only. And I think I can achieve that with this sort of button formation, which would allow me to play the whole game with just my thumb. So the idea would be to have it in more or less a square shape with the buttons right here and the LED matrix right next to them, so that it lies in my hand basically like this. The Arduino Nano is just as wide as the proto board I got for the buttons right here, so I will just place it right underneath them. And since it's not as long as the LED matrix, I think we still have room down here where I would put this pretty big power on and off switch. I think I forgot to mention it before, but a power switch in general is of course also essential for a DIY handheld, and yeah, I think it should fit down there just fine and would kind of add to the analog cyberpunk aesthetic I am going for. Alright, so now I will have to do 2 things. On one hand, I will have to solder all the components together, and on the other hand, I will design and 3D print the shell. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna do that, and then I'm gonna show you what I came up with.
He's just scared of getting dumped, and so he always does it first. And I'm always the one trying to save the relationship. Ugh, I feel like such a gonk.
He's the gonk here, Theo, not you.
Okay, so let's start with the 3D printed shell. This is the first version I designed and printed, and this is currently the final version. There were some versions in between, but for the sake of simplicity, I think it's enough to show the difference between the first and the final version. But either way, they're both pretty close to the original sketch I made, and I'm pretty confident that we will be able to fit all the final parts into this final version. I think my main struggle was to just make it more visually interesting than it just being a square, which is why I included this curve up here. And after that I also included smaller curves on the sides. I think slope is the right word for these things. I also printed an orange version just to see how that would look. And I think it could work, but the problem is that the LED matrix I got is green. And I don't think that that kind of green and orange would fit together well, which is why I ultimately decided to go with the white. And yeah, if you're asking yourself why there's this gap right here, that's actually for the cable of the power switch. Let me just show you what I mean by that. So these are all the components of the gaming handheld soldered together. And in order to get the power switch into its place without having to solder cables onto it after I put it in, I included this rail right here. But yeah, I will just press it in actually. Oh, and I turned the thing on. But yeah, as you can see, the cable of the battery got ripped off right now. I'll have to fix that real quick. In Germany, we have a word for stuff like this happening called Vorführeffekt. I think in English it's called Murphy's Law. Anyway, as you can see, it's working as long as you don't dangle the battery on its own weight. Let me test out all the buttons. Left, right, spin, drop. That works. And again, if we get a game over screen, it looks like that. And we can decide which game we start after a game over. If we press the right button, we get into a voider. And if we press the left button, we go back into Tetris. So theoretically you could program at least 4 games into this using that method. Alright, so let's actually try to fit all these components into that shell. I'm gonna isolate each layer so that they don't interfere with each other in any way. So overall I'm happy that everything fits at all, but there are some flaws I will have to address. The first thing is that the LED matrix doesn't go in all the way down here. That's just an adjustment of lowering the support mechanism by 2mm, it's not a big deal. The more important thing is that I actually don't like the aesthetic of the screws right here. After all, this one isn't really necessary, so maybe I will just remove it, but I'm not so sure about these two because they do add an element of stability when pressing the buttons, because they screw the plate of the buttons to the top. I'll have to think about it and come back with the final version, but just to show you, yeah, it fully works. That's already really cool. Here we go. It's finished. This is the final version. And to be frank, I'm not 100% happy with how this final design turned out. I think I would have liked for it to look even more cyberpunkian, but I just don't know how to achieve that any further. So yeah, that's the design I will settle on. But before I get too self-critical, there are still a lot of things I do really like about this thing. First of all, it's very sturdy, and it lies in the hand really well. The goal of making it as small as possible and still comfortable to play was definitely achieved, and I mean, there aren't a lot of one-handed handhelds out there, I think. Another thing I haven't really touched upon, but that's also pretty cool, is that it has USB-C charging. So all you have to do is plug in a USB-C cable, and then the battery is charging. And as you can see, I added some stickers onto it. Those are just cut up Cyberpunk 2077 stickers I had lying around. So yeah, that's the device. If you want to build it yourself, you can find 3D printing files and a detailed guide, for example on the wiring and the components and everything, on my Patreon for free. And if you decide to become a member, you will also get access to all the CAD files of this and all the other projects. Anyway, before I get lost playing, thank you so much for watching. There we go. And yeah, see you in the next video. Subscribe to the channel.